My guest today pretty much needs no introduction. With me is Microsoft Chairman and Chief Software Architect, Bill Gates. Bill, welcome.
Thank you.
So it's been a few years now since your transition to Chief Software Architect and Steve's to CEO. So how has that been different, and what's an average day like for you now?
Well, we've actually had 5 years that I've had a chance to focus more of my time on the products and the architectures we're using. And that's been a fantastic thing for me. It got to the point where under half my time was spent with engineers, and so I wasn't able to stay on top of things quite the way I like to. Particularly with the growth in our research group and the need to get those technologies out in products, I have a really fun job, making sure things are aligned, and so it's a lot of time with very smart people, and then some trips out to see what the customers are thinking and make sure I bring back what they're asking us to do better.
Right. So what are some current technologies that really excite you, and what do you wish you had more time to tinker with, for example?
Well, I get to work at every level, with the new phones, with the next generation Xbox. I'd say I'm most excited with some of the advances in the programming tools, adding some higher level constructs, making the database richer, the forms environment richer, even some language extensions themselves that are going to make typical applications a lot easier to write. The whole idea of web services where we can connect any piece of software with any other piece of software, that's been a holy grail of software development for decades, really. And now it's imperative that we get that to manage systems, to move data around for business intelligence, higher level abstractions and easy connections between things with reducing the amount of code. And I think we're on the verge of a pretty big breakthrough there, and it's fun to see that progress and have Microsoft help lead the way.
Do you get a chance to work in our products? Do you ever open up VB Express and just play around and see what's new?
Yeah, I don't get to write much code in shipping products now, but I do get to play around and write some of my own applications, whether it's on my home system or just navigating information. Most of the code I wrote in my life was machine code, so now I've got to really get used to the C#, the higher levels constructs, which I really like, but it's a big change from my early days there. And so, having a sense of what's still hard, why does the source code get big, that's important for me.
Now, I heard there was a time when people had to show you their code before they could actually check it in.
Well, a long time ago, and this is unfortunately a long time ago, I knew all the code myself. And when it came to writing the basic interpreter, I never let anyone do anything unless I went over it. And I'd often go back and just change their code just to get it all to feel like one coherent thing. And unfortunately, we're past the day where a single person can, say, have the entire Windows source code all in their head. But it was nice when it could be done that way.
Right. So what are some things you like to do outside of work?
Well, I'm a pretty avid bridge player, a little bit of tennis and golf. My kids are pretty young, so they've gotten me back into skiing, which I hadn't done for a long time, but that's a great family activity. And then a fair bit of reading, some of it associated with the foundation work I'm doing around global health. So between all those things, it fills my time very easily.
Sure. So what book's on your bedside table, for example?
Well, I just read one about the AT&T ups and downs and mergers and things called Tough Calls. I'm reading one called On Intelligence, which is Jeff Hawkins' book about artificial intelligence. Jared Diamond, my favorite author, who did Guns, Germs, and Steel, just came out with a new book called Collapse. So I've got a good list for the next week.
That sounds great. So if you hadn't started Microsoft or even gone into programming, what do you think you'd be doing today?
Well, there's only really two sciences that are changing the world in a very positive and rapid way, and those are information technology, everything around the work Microsoft and the hardware industry, communications industries are doing. And then there's the work in medicine and biology, really getting out to the frontiers of understanding that'll let us conquer the really big killers and really improve life. So I'm quite sure that I'd get involved in one of those. You know, they're both very deep and complex areas where a smart person who's optimistic can make a big difference. I get to do a tiny bit of encourage some of that biological work through my foundation, but only in a small part of my time. So I'm sure I would have gotten involved in one of those.
Okay. And so now, is it difficult as Bill Gates to do normal things like go out to dinner, go to the movies?
Actually, it works just great. You know, sometimes people do come up to me, but usually they're quite nice. Certainly the movies work well. They turn the lights out, and so I get to go out quite a bit, and you know, it's no problem at all.
And so I hear you're a big movie fan. Can you tell us what your favorite movie of all time is?
Well, you know, of all time, it'd be like Roman Holiday, Thomas Crown Affair. I just saw Hotel Rwanda, which is quite a good one. So I get out and see most of the movies, you know, because I don't watch TV much. It's my one real connection to popular culture, and it's just a great way to relax.
Right. Well, Bill, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.